It's been a while. It's been a
It
while.
has. It has, yeah. When's the last time we did this? Or that you did it? I guess it's been probably months for me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we're on YouTube. Let me check out
Okay.
the old tweeter.
I'm surprised you didn't call it X.
I never call it X. Yeah, we're live everywhere. Okay,
Okay,
well,
cool.
whatever. I jumped off the stream for no reason. But okay, cool. So the warm up here before we get into Zora coins, GM everybody, Tree Girl and me
GM.
here, is Crypto the game, and my spicy take, if that, is that it was less of a skill game than a social game. Tree Girl says it always has been. So, okay, that's on me. I saw puzzles and stuff and I was like, "Let's go. I'm going to do these puzzles and these games." It was fun and there were hacks to the game and I was enjoying that part of it, like find out how you can get 20 million points in pinball by just like
hmm
holding the left little clicker back and forth for like 8 minutes. Okay, lame, but still was cool to see there was a hack. But then the rest of it, like 90% of it, was social. And the social game was weak. Like most of the social aspect of the game was Google Spreadsheets, Telegram, token gated chats in Telegram, Guild and Collablat. That's weak. If you weren't in the Telegram chat, sorry, bro, you're out. It's like, what? That
Okay.
seems so lame.
I hear you. I hear you. That's all week. What's your proposal for a non-week social game?
Dude, I didn't get acquired by Ubisoft to do this.
Okay, fair.
All right, like I mean, look, if Crypto the Game wants to hire me as a consultant, I'm pretty damn sure I can come up with something much better than Google Sheets, token gated chats on Telegram. Here's why. I don't even know how much Crypto the Game got acquired for. If it got acquired for very much. Maybe it was just a social game all along. Like, oh, we acquired this. Haha. It's just a friendly acquisition. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, Uniswap owns this. Why doesn't it have its own app?
Yeah.
Why are we depending on Google Sheets and Telegram?
Okay,
That's
that
lame.
totally, yeah, no, totally, you're right. That stuff I can agree with. For how much I will say from last season or from the past two seasons to this season, right? So the past two seasons was when Crypto the Game was independent and then they got acquired by Uniswap and this was the first season that they're operating under Uniswap. And they got acquired like a year almost a year ago. So they've
Yep.
been acquired by Uniswap for like almost a year. Considering that fact, I will say that very little has changed or improved in terms of like the tech stack from last season to this season. It's very not obvious to someone who doesn't know that they were acquired by one of the biggest crypto companies since last season. So that part I'll give it to you. But taking that aside, like just try to forget about that part and how much that upsets you. Um, what else was it about the social game that you like? Okay, assuming this was like season one of Crypto the Game,
Sure.
right? Like they were just independent creators, had no funding or anything. Do you think that this would have been a well-run game? Would you have been down for the social game aspect of it with Google Sheets and Telegram and all that stuff?
No.
Okay.
Bro, this is the problem with crypto. Why are we so enamored and you leveraging like Web 2 tech so hard? This is like saying we're decentralized, but we're running on like Amazon Web Services. This is the same exact problem with crypto, which is funny
Yeah.
because it's crypto the game. So this is the gamified version of what's wrong with crypto.
I mean, there were some crypto elements, like especially once the tribes got shuffled,
Sure.
people like all the Telegram chats were token gated through either Guild or Collabland. So that's, I mean, that's a crypto element. But
That
I
would
do
make sense if
remember
it got acquired by Guild or Collabland, though.
I know, right? I feel like Guild got more exposure this season than anything.
100%. This was like sponsored by Guild without them having to like pay a penny in
I
advertisement.
know. Shout out to Guild. They're the real winners this season.
Shout out to Guild for sure. And Collabland, because my I have more friends in Collabland than Guild. Not
Yeah,
saying that I don't have friends at Guild, but I've known Collabland the longest.
totally, totally. And I will say too, like in the very beginning, I think like day one or day two, people were talking about making these Telegram groups, spreadsheets, whatever. And somebody suggested using Fileverse, like Ddocs, for instead of Google Sheets. That way we can token gate it because people were asking everyone to basically fill out their email addresses so that they could email address protect the Google Sheets. But so many people play the game anonymously or are just like anons in the space and don't want to dox their email address and their full name and things like that. And so that was like that felt a little invasive to me and not really in the spirit of crypto. So I was like, Fileverse DDocs, that makes perfect sense. But people were like, what's Fileverse? What's DDocs? Never used it before. I don't know. And I'm like, man, is this crypto the game or is this like just a Web2 online game? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to be like really spicy, Castaway is much better. Like what GM Farcaster hosts, a
I've
thousand
never
X
played that. I
much
don't tell
better.
what is that? Can you give me the TLDR?
Castaway is, I don't want to call it quarterly because I don't think it happens that often, but it's coming up. It's hosted by GM Farcaster. I think that they're in their third season, so they've hosted two already in 1 year. So
Okay.
they're up to where Crypto the Game is,
I mean,
and
like to be fair, Crypto the Game hosted two back-to-back seasons in like one quarter last
yeah,
year. Like
okay.
both of the games happened. I think the first one happened in like January or February, and then the second one happened in April.
My guess would be that they hosted one Uniswap Express Interest and they ran another one just so that they could, you know, pump the valuation. I don't know.
Uh,
Now I'm being,
no,
a
yeah,
conspiracist. All right.
conspiracy theories
Yeah,
are
but
pumping.
in terms of like Castaway, I would say I think Adrian and Nounish Prof, who host that, do a really good job because they lean in heavily into Farcaster and the games and the tools that are built on Farcaster, which there's no secret. I've been a Farcaster maxi for a while now.
That's
Farcaster
what the
over
stream
X
is all
anything.
about.
So I really appreciate the fact that they look at what games are trending, what are some of the things that people are using, what's new, and they give a platform to those builders and games. And the community goes out and takes on these challenges, which are, for the most part, crypto native. And a lot of the conversations are happening on Farcaster. Uh, DMs on Farcaster suck, but whatever. At least they're happening on some crypto adjacent platform, if not a crypto native platform itself. So I don't know. Like, and it doesn't take too much to go back and look at some of the challenges, but a lot of them, if not all of them, and anybody who's on the stream, correct me if I'm wrong. Tutorizer, I see you on YouTube. I know you're pretty deep into the GM Farcaster gang. Um, I think all of them are on chain. So that to me is like that was the main thing. There was I think Castaway has more games, which I thought was cool because you could really show your skill. Um, the social aspect of it, maybe there were cabals. Maybe I'm not cool enough to have been invited to a cabal there, but at least the conversations were happening on Farcaster, and
Yeah.
Castaway's it's a small team. It's two people, and maybe I don't know. Maybe Crypto the Game is still small, but I just felt underwhelmed. And this is nothing against Dylan. I think he did the best he could, but also people were discovering the challenges before they happened because they were like in plain text on the source code. Like what the what the heck, bro? That's so lame. Like there was so much alpha. All you have to do is look at the
Yeah.
source code. Maybe that was part
Yeah.
of the game too. I don't know. But that seemed weak too. Like where there was very little surprise.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm gonna ask that or add that to my questions for him tomorrow because I'm bringing him. I always bring Dylan on rehash to do a recap after every season. So I'll
Mhm.
ask him if you think of other questions too or comments that you want me to pass
These are
along.
hot takes. This is not me even like giving this much thought. I might be burning a lot of bridges right now for all I know. Um, but this is just my honest feedback. Like, I also 10 days felt a little much, but I think
Yeah,
when you think of games, sometimes it's about who's got the stamina. I've got a family. I don't have that stamina. My stamina, especially on the
totally.
weekend, don't mess with my weekends. Like that's the time that I spend with my wife, with my kid. So I gave my token to someone to play on my behalf. And I think partly that burned me because people were like, oh, he's not even here. And I was like, fair. I understand. But
I think it was partly like he's not even here, and partly you didn't even I don't think you even stuck around for most of this drama, but the person you gave it to ended up being a huge target in
yeah,
our tribe,
yeah,
as like people really didn't like the way he was playing or trying to lead the
yeah.
game. It gave very like North Korea dictator vibes a little bit, which is like not in the spirit of crypto at all.
Can I
So
give you my honest kind of like response to that is I thought that was my play on a cabal. Is like he seems to be controlling the narrative. Hold my beer. And then he goes down and so do I. And I was like, "Oh,
yeah.
maybe I didn't think through my cabal correctly."
No, no.
Yeah.
You don't want to follow the dictator. You want to follow like at least not in this game. It doesn't work out. You want to follow like the quiet leaders, I think. You
Mm.
know, like
The quiet leaders were
you
too
need to follow
quiet
someone
though.
who's more totally, yeah. And okay, this is like my biggest feedback is so I played every single season. The
Hmm.
first season, I had no idea what was happening, right? So I just like played fully as myself and like had no game strategy. I didn't even like realize it was a game. Like I was just there to have fun, make new friends, whatever. Got voted out like day 3 or day 4. Like didn't make it far at all. But I had a good time and I met a lot of people.
Hmm.
Second season, I came back and I was like, this season, I'm just strategizing. Like that's all I'm doing. Made
Mm.
it to day 8, but it was a lot less fun because to me, like from what I observed, I was like, the strategy is just to fly under the radar and be quiet. But that's not
Hmm.
fun because then you're not
No.
like meeting people, you're not making connections, none of that.
Right.
And this season, I more or less like did that strategy again to a lesser extent, but like more or less did that again
Hmm.
and still didn't have as much fun as I think I had the first season I played. But I have been just going through and reading some of the finalist threads on Twitter and Farcaster about why people should vote for them or whatever. And there are a few people who said like they took leadership. They like stepped up, were leaders in their tribes. They were admins of the spreadsheets. They helped
Hmm.
coordinate the votes. They did all of these things, yet they still made it to the finals.
Mm.
And so like these are the people that I'm more interested to talk to and hear what their strategy is because it sounds like they played like a fair and honest and fun game. They didn't just play a scared game hiding in the shadows the whole time. Like that to me is like the weakest strategy. And that was
Right.
my strategy. I mean, yeah, in all transparency, I'm not like shitting on those people because that was my strategy. I just like think it's weak and it's not super fun. So I want to talk to the people who were out there leading the charge, but did it in a way that wasn't controversial, didn't put people off, like the guy you gave your token to, in our tribe, and that
Yeah.
still made it to the finals. Like those
You
are
know
the
what
people that
sucks?
I think
I
really
forgot you
played
were
a
in
good
my
game.
tribe. I forgot you were a pinky because you were quiet.
No, I know, that's what I'm saying.
That sucks. Like
Yeah.
I had a couple of sidebars with people that I know on the Pink Tribe, just like not even cabal, just like DMs, like, what do you think? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah,
Like, what
yeah,
does
yeah,
this do? Like
yeah.
stuff like that. Just questions because also this was my first season, so I was very confused. I was like, is
Yeah.
this how it's supposed to go? Is
You
there
didn't even realize it was a social game. You thought you were just there to play like arcade games.
My bad. Yeah, that's my bad. I don't know. Maybe because I've been tracking what's it called? Castaway too much. I made a natural assumption that that was inspired by
Mm.
Crypto the Game. I had only heard it. But anyways, I was in the Green Tribe first, and I made lots of new friends there. Ted was there, and so obviously know them, and we're chatting up, kind of like what's happening. And even after it was cool because even after we all got like shuffled, and I ended up on the Pink Tribe. I wasn't sharing any alpha or anything that we were doing, but I was in there still rooting for the OG Greens. I was like, yeah, you keep going, good for you. And I was like, that's kind of cool. Like we're still kind of tribal, caring for one another, like ensuring that we're like, hey, is everybody okay in here? That was really cool to see. I like that. And
Yeah.
so if I were to say where my heart was the whole time, was probably Green Tribe still. And I
Oh
only
shit.
elected to stay pink because, again, I didn't know how this social game worked. I naturally assumed that game mechanics would imply that I select pink, or sorry, I select green and I get kept in pink, and I get screwed for having said I'm going back to green. Because that's a game mechanic. Like, oh, we just wanted to see if you would stick with the tribe you're in.
Oh.
And now you revealed your natural preference, and everybody can vote you off. That's why I stayed with pink because my heart was truly with green. Like that's where I started. They were really helpful in the beginning. So on me.
Well, Pink and Green ended up allying in the last couple of days. So you would have had all the friends backing you up had you not made your grave mistake of giving your token to literally the worst person you could have given it to in our tribe.
That's hilarious. I know. I know.
Because then
Well,
people were
you live, you
saying
learn.
like it wasn't even so much that like, oh, Humpty's inactive, let's boot him. It was more like we think Humpty is an alt of this guy. Or if
Oh,
not an
well,
alt, then at least super aligned. And we hate him, so we're gonna knock Humpty.
wow.
No, not you. Like we hate the
Oh,
leader, and so we're gonna axe Humpty too, because Humpty might just
yeah.
be that
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Or if not that guy, then like a very close ally.
Yeah. I don't even know what I would do different if I were to redo this. If I were
You
to
should
redo
probably
this,
like play the
actually,
game. You should probably play the game for
no, I
number
should have probably
one.
known that it was a social game to
Yeah,
start.
okay, okay. Number one, know that it's a social game. Number two, actually play the game, which is a
Yeah,
huge time commitment, like you said, but there's just
yeah,
no way around it.
I know.
And then three, not ally with the dictator.
Yeah, the green leaders were super kind, and one of them is in the finals today.
Multiple,
So
I think.
it's Baumik, BHA,
Balmeek.
Baumik.
Balmeek.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. He's great. He's
yeah,
great.
yeah. He was super chill from the beginning, and he was getting targeted in the beginning because he was leading, right? But he was leading with
Yeah.
kindness, but it doesn't matter. Like if you're leading at all,
That's
like
the thing.
yeah,
Yeah. That's the thing that like I don't like. And I've talked to Dylan about this too, and he's agreed. Like I don't like how leaders get knocked out of the competition. And then he came on Rehash earlier this season and teased basically a vote to save versus a vote to eliminate.
yeah,
So instead of like one vote will just knock you out towards the end of the game, you can actually vote for people that you want to save in the game. And so it's
hmm
more beneficial for you to form alliances and to talk to people and step up and not be like hiding in the shadows because then no one's going to know you and no one's going to vote to save you.
right.
So he like teased that, and so everyone was thinking that there was going to be a vote to save at some point in one of the later rounds, and it just never happened. So need to ask him about that too.
Yep. Anyways, that's crypto the game for me. That's my experience. Would I recommend to a friend? No. Will I come back next season? I'm not sure.
Hmm. Okay, well that's I mean that's a at least it's not a no, you know.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, if there's anything, and I think I had a friend who's also in there, John, previously with Gitcoin, some solar foundation now. Anyways, huge regen.
Is that John
John
Ruth?
Ruth, yes.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
yeah,
had
yeah.
forgotten his last name. We were chatting, we were sidebarring, and he's like, "This is my first time too. I just wanted to be part of the kind of the meta." And I was like, "Yeah, same. Like, if anything, I just wanted to be close to why is this cool? Like, I wanted
Yeah.
to be close to the people that get excited by this kind of stuff, because to be very honest, like I work from home and I'm alone all day, and it's a sad, sad life. So I was like." I want to be close to, like, I get energized by some weird things. Like I seek energy in some weird kind of circles. And this was one of the things that I was hoping to get re-energized by. And to be fair, I did. I
Okay.
found excitement and kind of energy by some of the games and some of the conversations that were happening there and by people cheering each other on. Like I'm a positive guy. Like I don't like people like cutting each other down. That does not do anything for me. But when, like I said, I'd go back to the Green Tribe after all the votes were done. It's like, everybody okay over here? That was truly cool. That re-energized me. That brought joy in my day, in my lonely, lonely work day. Uh, so for what it's worth, I that was fun.
I mean, so, yeah, so it sounds like overall you still had a positive experience. You made some friends, you
Yeah,
had a good time while you lasted.
yeah,
That's all that counts.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, the game. Maybe I'll compare Crypto the game to ETH Denver. Man, I'm just gonna be spicy.
Oh,
Where
let's hear it.
you heard all the drama around ETH Denver, and I think, to be fair, they get the drama every year. Every year there's something like ETH Denver sucks, but everybody still goes there. So at
Yeah.
the end of the day, what ETH Denver does is they have the gravitas to draw people to a cold city in the US at the beginning of the year when no one's got any money because we all got burned by the new bear market, and we go and meet friends and we choose our own adventure. Maybe we show up to the main conference, but we go and do these side conferences where that resonate with us and what we do and why we're here. Crypto the game, maybe it was as lame as ETH Denver, but at the end of the day, it drew me into these Telegram chats and I was able to meet new people and connect with people that I already know and deepen and strengthen those relationships, and I'm better for it.
Yeah. Boom. Said all there needs to be said.
That's all I need to say because honestly, that's as nice as I can be. I was trying to leave on
Yeah.
a nice note.
Yeah. No, that's also why I'm not, I'm like, yeah, let's just leave it at that. It's a good note to leave on.
Yeah. All right, let's burn something else. Zora coins. I
Oh my
mean, we
God,
are
why
gonna
are we
be
doing?
super spicy today, apparently.
Yeah, well, apparently Gramajo's joining soon, right? And he's pro Zoro coin, so
Yeah.
the it won't just be a pure shit fest when he gets here.
Well, I don't think he's pro Zora coin. That's the funny thing.
Oh, really?
I think I don't know what you're gonna say, but I think he's definitely not very happy with kind of the new direction of Zora coins.
Oh.
I actually am open minded, and I just tried it this morning. I just launched my first coin this
Oh,
morning,
nice.
and I have some thoughts that are positive. So,
Let's start with those.
sure, why not? By the way, I this stream is only an hour long, so 8 to 9, not 8 to 10 today. At least that's how I scheduled it on X and YouTube, so they won't cut us off. So I want us to
Okay.
keep that in mind. Um, okay, launched my first Zora coin this morning. It is a short of a GM Cabal episode that I recorded with Afro Chicks. This was episode number 1, and we're like on 5 or 6. And these are just like featuring people on Farcaster, creators, and really just kind of learning from them in 30 minutes, like why they're on Farcaster, what's their kind of thesis for on-chain media, and kind of some of the strategies that they're implementing. And I gotta say, first of all, super simple. That's the one thing I've always enjoyed about the Zora platform. Really easy to launch something.
Mm.
So I don't think that there's enough tools out there where in about 3 to 5 clicks, maybe 3, you can have something on chain, some content on chain. I think that's worthy of celebration. Good job,
Yeah.
Zora, for continuing to do that. The other one, I know the major issue with folks is the way that we've gone from like NFTs. I think they were doing ERC 721s, right? That's the old NFT format that they had, open editions. to this like more tokenized coin kind of meta. And I've heard their argument for it where they believe that this was a better way to accelerate distribution. I will agree that distribution is hard, especially for creators. To get your content to new eyeballs, especially on chain, not easy. But there is a recipe for doing that. In fact, we covered that at the On-Chain Creator Summit. So go and check out those panels if you're listening. They're on the Crypto Sapiens YouTube. Soft shell. I'm not selling you anything. Just go watch it. I'm just buying your eyeballs with a
Yeah.
like. Um, anyways, so as a creator, as a content creator, I like to leverage platforms that have massive distribution so that I can get my content where maybe someone never saw my content on YouTube or on Instagram or on Twitter for, because crypto is mostly on Web 2. Probably less so on pods, right?
Yeah.
Um, Maybe on Farcaster. So now there's this community on Zora that is there to maybe speculate, but through my own content and maybe through the success of some of these coins, I'll be able to reach a new audience. And if they're interested, they'll buy into it. You don't have to buy my shitcoin, but if you want to buy it, good for you. Go get it. Because at the end of the day, when you buy this token, I think Ryan Kagi said it best at the On-Chain Creator Summit. And in fact, I just remember this because I clipped the short of it that's going to go live soon. Um, when you're buying a token on ZoraCoin for a creator specifically, you're not necessarily speculating into the value of the token of it going up. It might, but that's not really what you're doing. You're almost like betting or investing into my creativity and saying this creator has some really good insights, has an interesting kind of way of communicating these ideas that others maybe have trouble doing or don't do very well at all. And he's doing so on a platform that I care about. And so your bet isn't on just purely degenerate kind of token go up, but it's also on cool creator. Let me bet on him doing more, doing better, improving, and finding a larger audience in the future. And I like that too. So those are some of my hot takes because I literally just launched this about an hour ago, if that, maybe less so.
Gramajo is with us.
Yeah,
Perfect timing.
I know. He
Although,
missed all the crypto the game meta.
yeah, he didn't want to hear it. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm good.
You didn't even know what we said. What if it was super interesting?
Couldn't have been that interesting.
Oh my God, Gramajo. Coming in hot.
I'm just
Not
kidding.
just me,
Right?
apparently. Gramajo
My,
might feel the same. Wait, Gramajo, did you play?
nah, man. I got like I got two massive projects I'm delivering right now before
He's
FarCon.
got, I got a job, bro. I don't
Yeah,
do this crypto shit.
no, I want to. Trust me, dude. I'm like, I love like going deep on things, and I saw some of like the riddles and stuff. But nah, man.
Nope.
I
Already
gotta
off
keep.
on the wrong track already. See, you're thinking about this as a skill game, Gramajo. We covered this in the first half of this call. It is not a skill game. This was a social game, my man. So if you were looking for puzzles and all these other clues that you're
There were
talking
But
about,
puzzles. There were puzzles though, and I will say that the two like big puzzles from the season I thought were very fun.
but isn't social also a skill?
Yes.
apparently one that I am unskilled at.
I'm glad you said it so I didn't have to.
I saw you opening your mouth and I knew where you were going.
You're like, I'm gonna front run
You
her.
spit fire for sure. I know you. I know you well enough now.
Gramajo just gave me an easy assist. What was I
He
supposed to do?
did.
Not take it?
No, for sure. No, no. Hey, all for it. Um. Anyways, we did cover that, but we're on Zora coins, and I gave my positive take on it right now,
Yeah.
and I'll just briefly recap that. easy to use, uh, big platform with large distribution. Content creators can leverage that to present their content to a new audience. Tokens or coins now versus like the ERC 721 is a way to bet on a new creator improving and finding a larger audience versus just purely speculating on token go up. That's the TLDR. Thoughts?
Do you have anything to add to that, Gramajo?
Positive first.
Positive
Yeah,
before?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start with positive, like Humpty said. Yeah, I mean, like I think you said, like it's more accessible. It brings liquidity. Uh, yeah, it just brings liquidity, which is good. You know, like it's. I feel like sometimes NFTs you get kind of you can't get in and out of positions, or like the liquidity is like it just takes time, like the angle, to be able to get out of your positions. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. That's probably like most of the positives for me, I would say.
Okay. Okay, let me just add, not add, but let me agree with that because I looked at it immediately when I launched this. I had $18 in my pocket. Well, I haven't claimed it. I haven't burned it because I would have to sell my share, right? Because like when you mint a coin, I say now I'm thinking about it as an NFT. You don't mint it. When you launch a coin on Zora, 50% of it goes to liquidity on Uniswap. 10% of it gets put into your wallet. So I automatically have um, a percentage of these coins in my wallet, and there is a value to them. So even though no one's bought into it beyond just what's in the pool and my 1%, sorry, um, I've now made, in quotes, $18, which for a creator, that's massive. Like to see that there's already a market and some value to the content you put on the platform in mere seconds. I think that's encouraging, especially for someone who's newly on chain.
So that's all just from that clip of Naomi that you put on there.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to share it here in the chat. And then I'm going to show it on the stream. Holy heck, that is not easy to read. If you can type all of that before it goes away in about 2 seconds, you would have won Crypto the Game. Gotta keep bringing it back.
You don't sound bitter at all.
I'm not bitter, actually, which is the funny thing. Absolutely,
I
absolutely
think
not
I
bitter.
I really think you should come back and play again next season to redeem yourself.
You know what? If I come back next season, my role will be old guy yelling at the clouds in the sky. Yeah! I'll be that guy. I'll
That's
come in
fine.
just for
I
that.
mean,
That'll be the
that's
meme.
fine though. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. No, that's great. We need more characters, I think. As long as you're not just hiding in the shadows. I just think that's the lamest way to play the game,
Yeah. Oh no,
aka the
for
way I
sure.
played
I
it.
will
Super lame.
go super hard on the spice. Like I will come in just purely spitting fire.
I mean,
Like
you
I
also
will
want
call Dylan
to
out.
Oh, I mean, you also want to make sure you last a few days so you
Oh no,
can
I'm
keep
going out in day one instead of like day five this time. And then I'm gonna keep
all right.
resurrecting. Well, actually, no. There might not be
Oh,
resurrection, right? Because that was something
exactly.
new this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you gotta stay
Maybe,
alive.
maybe Dylan, instead of working with Boys Club, come work with Crypto Sapiens. Or also with Crypto Sapiens. Boys Club was nice, actually. I'm not talking shit about Boys Club. They did a great job covering it. But you come to then Dylan come to my show, and we're just gonna burn all the bridges every night. We're gonna go hard at the losers. We're gonna go hard at the cabals. Like Crypto Sapiens. This is how I'm pitching the the collab. Come in
I
and
mean,
we're gonna burn your bridges.
honestly, I would watch it. Create more chaos.
Hell yeah.
I would watch it. Like you
Yeah.
have the real tea and you're
Yeah.
not afraid to say it because you're like, whatever, I don't care about staying in the game.
Absolutely. But which speaking of like spice or hot, coming in hot, whatever. King Wilbur, that was so lame, too. Like I felt like that was like a NPC that showed up and then just like really didn't matter.
There's a whole lore behind that.
Oh, I know. It's probably Dylan's alt.
Well, so someone actually just came out and said that and like admitted to being King Wilbur.
When someone
Whether that's
admits
true
to
or not.
being the NPC, the game's not going well.
But yeah, it was this guy, Net Dragon 0x, who was in my original tribe.
Where are you sharing this?
Um our studio chat.
Oh, put it in the live
Where
stream chat so we
oh live
can,
stream.
yeah, so I can show it on the stream and people can,
Oh, okay.
yeah. There we go. Show on stream. This is Diana's sleuthing.
I mean it's out there, it's public.
Okay. I don't know. We're not talking about crypto the game anymore.
No, we're talking about Zora coins.
Yeah, we got 20 minutes. By the way, Gramajo, I made this an hour long because I don't know, it had been a while. I didn't want to assume people were free for 2 hours. But I do want to make sure we cover Zora coins as best we can. I used it because I didn't want to just be talking positively or negatively about it without having used it. I don't know if I have a negative comment, to be honest with you. I think it's just, it falls in the pool of, if this is the negative comment, it falls in the pool of everything else. There's nothing that truly differentiates it beyond like Clanker, um, Pump.Fun. If anything, in those games, it's lagging behind.
But so in that sense, doesn't it just kind of seem like a last ditch effort for them to like do what everybody else is doing and not die? Like what where are you
I don't know,
innovating? And
Diana.
like
Is
why does
that what
this
you
make
think?
sense? But like why does this make sense for Zora to do? And not like Clanker, like Clanker is like that's what Clanker's always been. And
Mm-hmm.
that's just what it is. But like I think also is like to me just looking at like the overall arc of Zora, it seems like one big complaint throughout their journey is that I don't think they're very good at communicating with people what they're doing. When they change things, it seems like they just change it.
Mm,
And there's not a ton of communication or explanation about what is happening and why. And so I think it makes creators who use Zora feel a little in the dark. And it almost feels like there's like this, it's like this if you know, you know vibe. Like if you're part of the cool kids inner circle, then you know. And if you get it, then like you're cool and you're cultured. And if not, then like whatever, like we don't give a shit about you. It gives off that kind of vibe a little bit. Like they always have. And I think with this was just such a big pivot
mm-hmm.
that I don't feel like was really explained in a way that makes a lot of sense to people, which is
Yeah.
why it makes me feel like this was just the last ditch effort on their part to like appease investors or something, because that's whatever tokens are like what everybody's doing now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, but they
I'm
have a
just
token,
speculating.
right? You just mean token
Yes.
launchpad.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Because too, okay, like I think one of my biggest concerns with like tokenizing content is that
mm,
it can make people play a financial game around content rather than valuing content or art for what it is.
mm-hmm.
I think is like a potential danger. I'm not saying it has to happen, but I think it's a potential danger. And it just seems to go very much against what Zora has always been about, which is
Yeah,
the art itself.
fair.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Here's one more question I have because I've just started to play this game, so I'm not quite sure of how it works. But one thing that I liked about Zora previously is that you owned your own smart contract, which meant that if I didn't want to keep playing this game on Zora, I could take my contract and play that game somewhere else. I don't see, I see my collections. from previous NFT drops that I've done for under the Crypto Sapiens account, but I don't see the same happening for the Zora coin I just launched. Does that mean that that's a new contract and that is no longer a portable IP?
Right. I don't know.
Because that'd be a, a step backwards as well.
Right. Yeah. No, that's a good question.
At least for me, that was super important. I know we've talked about that here previously. Sorry, Grabajo, go ahead. Did you want to add something? We can't hear you now if you're
Oh
talking.
shoot.
Kind of.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, now we
You
can.
can't hear me now.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say my overall issue is kind of what Diana's saying, which is like Zora to me was like they were going after the art, um, and it seems like it seems very confusing. Like I don't know what problem they're trying to solve right now. So if we actually take like a step back, when they announce like the tokenization of art or media as a whole, and it creates like a market cap, I feel like one of the biggest issues that goes under the radar is as a content creator, now you have multiple tokens that you're in charge of like having to communicate or it like the price going up essentially versus when you're an artist or a content creator like with pods like it's all one contract and the individual media like sits inside of that contract essentially. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're they're going too granular. Like they're focused so much on like the actual individual piece of content when really it should be the whole collection. So like when you look at least like in the last 2 years, like during this bear market, the artists that have been doing really well in this space, and I'm going back to like just pure art at this stage, not even like media, is like Mendez or Joe Pesci, like they're doing one of one um collection. So basically the collection itself is like the statement piece for the artist. Like that's what's actually going to leave you like a legacy in the space right now. I think one of ones was like how originally we got started. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
really good to collect the one of one, but now it's actually like a whole collection. So if you look at like X Copy, it's like Fresh Hell is like the fully on chain version of it, and they're all like, even though they're ERC 1155s, that whole collection's like it's popping basically. So to me,
Mm-hmm.
I would say like the token itself should actually be at the collection level. Like it shouldn't be at the individual piece level. But the issue with that too is that you actually lose one of the benefits of NFTs, which is like the micro community aspect of it. So if you take nouns for example, like we have Shark DAO. Shark DAO doesn't happen with a coin because people are attached to their shark head figure picture, and you don't have shark coin. I don't know. Just seems weird.
Yeah.
What regarding your comment about like the micro communities around NFTs though, like that's kind of the big push and pull that we've been feeling in especially the NFT space though, right? Is like we as creators who've been in the space for a while, especially really enjoy those small cozy communities that are
Mm-hmm.
formed around these NFTs. But at the same time, we need distribution for monetization. So it's like I am torn between like how do we get distribution and monetization while still maintaining these small cozy communities? Is that even possible, or are those two things not possible to have at the same time?
I mean, to me personally, I would say the model that I would go after if I were them and I was a product manager there, um, is at least right now, I'm a big fan of what is it? Uh, like the ERC20 to NFT bridge.
Say
So
more.
So like if you think about it, like
one noun equals 1 million nouns token,
Mm.
like the ERC20. So you can go back and forth. So you would get, um, at least the way that I was thinking about it like last night is you would get the benefit of minting, an ERC 1155 or 721. Really, they're 1155s is actually the market that they're going after. It's not 721s, to be quite honest. Um, so you would mint that, and you would get the instant liquidity, kind of like pods, like people minting and stuff like that. And then I would say, like, once the collection is done, you can swap in and out of, like, let's say, like, it graduates, like, how tokens can graduate nowadays? Once you've reached a certain level of market, you can graduate. And then from a collector's perspective, once it graduates, you get redeemed basically. Like you could trade in your NFT for the actual token itself, and then you can really go in and out of collections and positions.
So your argument about Zora coins is that they're not capturing either the latest meta or the more powerful meta. I'm trying to understand.
Yep, that's actually pretty much it. Yeah, I feel like when you're creating, like what, because if you think about it, like when it graduates or something, when a collection is done. So like, let's say if we went with podcasts instead of art, you could say, well, actually, not even it's even applicable to art. So like, if we look at Mendez right now, he has a collection of one of ones that he's dropping, and the whole collection itself is like the statement piece, not necessarily the individual one of ones in there. Once that collection is done, some people could either be like, hey, it takes a year to get out, like for the whole collection to drop. Like we don't want to rush artists to move quick. Mm-hmm. You can either still mess with your piece, like you like it, or you could be like, let me just floor it essentially. But the overall value, like you've already captured the value essentially as a collector because you were early, like you caught it like pre-market essentially.
So that it could be a combination of what they were doing previously with open editions and coins as a way of like accelerating, maybe not even accelerating, capturing new value to early adopters of the content.
Yeah, and then for people that are like coming in after the fact, like after a collection is done, for them it could be like maybe they didn't get in early enough, like for the actual specific piece of art, but they could still participate from like a market cap perspective on the upside. Yeah. So you can be like, I don't know which individual piece overall in this collection of 100 things, or like if I go to like Ripcash, for example, like this Data Swamp collection, like it's just a fully on chain. There's 3 pieces. If those are the last 3 pieces, there's 2 people. There's 2 kinds of people in that situation. You have people that are like, hey, I like the smile or the security piece from this collection specifically, and those are the only ones I want. Like I don't want any of these 3. Like I want a specific one. I want a noun with a calculator head. Like it's that simple. And then you have other kind of people who are like, I don't really care. I just want to get in, and I just want to participate in the whole, like in this collection as a whole. And I don't really care which of these 3 pieces I get. I just want to be on the upside of like this whole collection. Like I'm bullish on the whole collection overall, and that's where the token can come in. I don't know. To me, at least, that would be at least a different thing that they're doing now, because I don't really know what it is that they're trying to solve now.
Yeah, I think that's the thesis of your argument is they're not necessarily solving a problem, and if anything, they're whatever they're doing now is not completely differentiated or of any new value to creators.
Yeah.
Fair. Diana, any takes aside from provocations?
I was like, I said what I had to say. I'm out. Oh no, he's back with his face.
Yeah,
Not a fairy. It's just not the vibes, Gramajo. I'm sorry. If there's no fairy, it's not the vibes.
no fairy. Wait, did I miss something?
He's always on the ferry.
Oh, sorry, I was thinking
Oh, like
green fairy.
Fairy.
Yeah,
That's funny too.
yeah. I never mind. Something St. Patrick's Day. That's all. All right.
What?
Green fairies? No. Okay.
Oh, I don't know much about that stuff.
Okay.
What are green fairies?
Early morning crew is not about educating people about green fairies.
Oh man, you're really...
Yeah, there you go. DYOR.
Yeah.
That's why it's crypto the game.
Oh, that's not that bad. You can say
No, it's
that.
not. No, no, it's not. It's just I don't know. It's unrelated.
Fair.
uh, uh,
Gramajo, I think you're mute, or I think your sound isn't working.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now that your face is on, your mouth is
Now
off.
we can tell. Yep. We can only have one or the other. Take your
Exactly.
pick, audience. Let us know in the
We
comments.
either get
You
your
want
beautiful
Gramajo's
voice or your
face
beautiful
or your
face.
exactly. Huh,
The
which one would you
the
pick?
yeah, the airwaves can't handle too much beauty. We can only do one. The angelic voice or the angelic face.
Now he's just
Or
gonna keep
neither.
popping in and out. Yeah.
Uh,
Um,
apparently we're
I don't.
Diana and I are it doesn't matter, we're ugly enough where the airwaves can handle both our face and our voice.
Why am I getting dragged down with you?
Hey,
This your
fair
revenge for all
game.
the boomer stuff I've said about you? Yeah, no, it's
This
true.
is all fair game.
What
It's
about
fine.
now?
That's true.
Yeah, we can we can hear you. So apparently
Woo!
join the
Join the
ugly
ugly
club.
club, according to Humpty. Humpty just called me ugly when you were off.
What? Make that into a token.
Wait. I did not call you ugly. I said what the airwaves
This is being
believe.
recorded.
Yes, I know it's being recorded. Go back and I said the airwaves can't handle, right? Either too much face beauty or voice beauty. And considering that it can handle both of ours, it must say something.
I'm gonna make it into a short. Don't worry.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go. Make
Yeah,
a short
clip
out of it.
that. Clip
I'm
that.
gonna clip that
Make a
into a
coin
short.
And
out of it. Put it on Zora coins.
Yeah.
yeah, at least give me some of the profits from that. I deserve it after being called ugly on air.
Actually, that's a good question. I used to be able to split the revenue from a coin on Zora with
Yeah.
someone else. I don't think you can do that anymore.
See, and that's like what I don't
Oh,
understand either is like so like with art you
We're
can
back to the
have
art arc.
like royalties, you know?
Yeah.
But in the royalties, like what are you I forget what
Well,
the
your
breakdown
royalties here
is.
are you have 1% of the supply. So any value go up, like people buying the token, you're capturing that value through your percentage.
Yeah, but it's like higher with a 1155 or 721. You can make it higher essentially. Used to be 5%.
Yeah, but and that I'll leave it at that. Yeah, but
Used to be 5, used to be 10. You know, I think
to
it was
be
like
fair, that had its own like pushback.
no, I agree. Yeah, people chose to go like skirting them or over the counter or all that, whatever. But I mean, you could do the same thing now. Like, what's stopping me from sending you $100 and then you send me the coin?
No, I mean like the whole revenue or the percentage that was a zero sum game. Like we ended up pushing all of those to zero. All the platforms basically ignored it.
Yeah,
So you could get around that. With coins, you own a percentage of it. Whatever platform that gets traded on, you're still capturing the value of that through the percentage that you own.
as long as nobody's sending it to you directly.
Yeah, but what I don't know what you mean by sending it to you. Like, you
I
mean
like
airdropping the token? Like,
no,
for
like
example, I
I
have
can
1% of the supply, which is 10 million tokens of this new short that I posted on Zora. I could retroactively through Hypersub or something else, share a portion of these rewards with my followers, my
Mhm.
subscribers, for instance. Is
No, what I'm saying
that what
is
you mean?
I have your Cabal token, and I could send it to Diana, and you would get none of it, and she could send me $100 of
Oh,
Warcast.
right.
So same thing.
But that doesn't change the value of it. That just you're just splitting your ownership stake into it,
No,
right?
no, no.
Like,
I'm
is that what?
saying I can avoid your 1% by just sending versus selling to anyone.
So you're basically paying someone by just sending them a token, like, "Hey, Diana, thanks for this. Here's 1 million cabals, which is probably worth a penny. Like, good job." Is that? I don't understand the
Yeah,
argument.
so that's the exact same thing. So you're saying that like the argument is basically like the royalties is the coin buying and selling. It's the
Hmm.
tax. But Diana could just send $100 to my Warpcast account, and I could send her $100 worth of Cabal, like literally send. So we're not buying and selling. She's giving me two separate transactions, and I just avoided giving you your royalty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel the my view of this, and I could be completely wrong, is that we're just entering we're just able to capture the value of distribution on a platform with many users. That's the way I choose to see it on Zora. I am not looking at even at it as a competitor to Clanker. Clanker, if anything, has a different distribution. I don't want to say smaller, but a different distribution because the visibility is purely on Farcaster or if you're on Clanker.world. And I don't know, I feel like Zora in that perspective has a better portal to viewing like what's happening on their platform, what's trending, or following your favorite creators through my profile. And hopefully you'd be like, oh, Humpty's been sharing other stuff here in the past. Let me go and collect this. You don't have to. But if you feel so inclined and you think my photos of what happened at Bitcoin Pizza Day last year or my videos, FarCon, like collect it, have fun. Distribution. I think that's the main thing that I'm taking away from Zora coins.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Cool. We got a minute before the stream gods kick us out. Tutorizer on YouTube, it's been very active. Has asked, what's the difference you see between ERC 1155 and the current ERC 20 token meta in 1 minute?
Mm.
Well, I think maybe Gramajo explained it best, but it's
Yeah.
just the way that you can uh, capture value and reward community with it versus coins have a maybe not the best way of doing that. It's just more money games.
Boom.
All right. And with that, we're going to close out. Next week, we'll see if we do the full 2 hours. I'm fine with it. I just didn't want to make an assumption that we could. Also, because today is the final vote for Crypto the Game. So, if you're still playing that, if you're still interested, or if you have your token, right, Diana? You can be a part of the jury today.
Yeah, you can too. You have your token, right? Or wait,
Nope.
no, it died. Oh, rip.
Red flag! Red flag!
Oh my
He did
God.
message me though, and he asked who I wanted to vote for, so he will be voting on my behalf.
Who did you say?
I'm not gonna say it on air where it's being
Tell,
recorded.
whisper it. Whisper it. Okay, DM me
I'm voting for you.
for me.
I hope you win, Diana.
Thank you. I do too.
Wait, Diana, you're in the finals?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. I was like, what the fuck? When did I miss that?
That was the
I got
joke.
voted out in like the last 2 minutes last night, so I was 2 minutes away from making the finals.
Oh
It's
no! I would
fine.
have loved to see
The
you win.
the
Actually, I think
other
that'd
thing,
be fun.
another thing is there are almost no like big-ish names in the finals. If you look at the list, out of 68 people, there might be like a handful of names I even recognize. Everyone else is just like anons or just people with like very like not very public facing people. So that's interesting too,
Hmm.
I think.
I think Bixbyte might have bought back in. or something.
Yeah, they were in and out a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in a announce chat where she's in, and she just kept saying, "I'm degenning back in. I'm degenning back in." I think she just
Yeah.
kept buying back in. I was like, "All right, like, good for
That's
you."
fair. I think I think it's fair if you want to like buy back in. How do you feel about someone who gets voted out and then is just given an NFT on the last day to
Ooh.
like
I mean, have they been playing? Yeah, you said they were voted out. I don't know.
yeah,
Like,
let's
if they
DM
put in
about
the
this.
work,
Let's wrap this. We'll DM about this.
yeah. All right. Bye, everybody.
Okay, good chatting with you. Good luck to all the finalists.
See you
Yeah.
guys.
All right, bye guys.